You don't do hair and makeup or any of that.
No. Why? Why would I? So, all
No,
right.
why would you?
You ready? Oh, wait. Hold on. Because, watch, we're going to
Oh,
already messed it up.
it's good.
So, what we're going to do, I don't know. I'll leave it because that's what I want to see.
Look
So,
at this guy.
I'm already messing. Yeah, that's Spider Man. That's Gus's. All right, let's try this one more time. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Good Old Boy Podcast. I am your host, Buster Caballero, again. And if you are just tuning in for the first time, I appreciate it very much. If you're a returning listener, man, I really appreciate that also, especially because the numbers keep going up. So that means people are might be enjoying this or accidentally click on a button. I know that's happened to me. So, Good Old Boy Podcast. What is this all about? We're talking to good old boys. A lot of these are my friends or people who say you really should talk to this person or this person. And in the studio today, I have one of my friends, Mr. Jarrad Williams. How you
Hey,
doing, bud?
oh man, I'm doing really good. I was kind of offended though when you told me that this is a good old boy podcast. I was like, what do you mean good old boy? Like I kind of still feel like I'm a young man, and you
A
know,
good old boy
I
can
got this
still feel it.
complex. Yeah, yeah. But it's kind of funny because I started thinking about how do you know when you're getting old?
You
And
feel it.
you definitely feel it. But so I thought of this is when you get up and you get down. That's one of the big ones.
Yeah.
But even like on my way over here, I was pulling out of the apartment complex and headed. And I was at a stop sign. This car pulled up to me. He pulled up and going really fast. I said, "Oh God, all right, here we go." So he slammed on the gas to take off to go to the to
What was,
beat me off the line.
what was the car?
It was a little white, like, Mercedes car, but it was a
Okay.
young guy in it, so, it's
Yeah.
his parents, paying the bill
It was
for it.
a C series.
Yeah, oh, I don't yeah, yeah, right? E-Class, this, that, the other. But, no, but, like, when he pulled off and he took off, and I was like, "Oh, man, this guy, here he goes." Like, I had this, like, thought, like, "Oh, young punk kid," and stuff like that. I was like, "God, man, I'm getting old." But then I really started to think about it. I was like, I'm really getting old because I know the way the lights work in this
Yeah.
part of town right now. And I know that he's going too fast to
To
catch this
catch
next
the
light.
screen.
So he's going to get caught at the red light and look
Did
like
he?
an idiot when I get there.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
That's what right now is there's a speed limit for a reason. It's like, all right, 45. If I do 50, I can
Yeah.
kind of slow down and then boom.
But if I do 38 and a half, I know I'll make the next light and I'll be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. It's bad whenever you're driving up to it and it hits red.
Oh, yeah.
That's the worst because then you're going to get all the
But
next
I'm
ones.
the king of running red lights like that. Like I will run every yellow light I can.
I've done that a lot. I feel like I've done that more lately.
Ugh.
Like I've caught them and I've been like, it's like tapping the top still pink.
It's terrible because now Fletcher, he is, he's got all his colors down and stuff like that.
Good for him.
But he is like calm. But he wants me to run red lights. He's like, "Dad, just go, go." I was
Yeah.
like, "I gotta wait for green." He's like, "Go."
Go.
So, well, oh well. But yeah, I'm happy to be here and talk
So
about anything that comes
I
up.
know if you go onto our YouTube side and you watch the beginning of this, you will see that I messed this up a lot. Starting off, still getting used to the equipment, still getting used to the setup. Got some new mic stands. Got the camera for the live video now. So got Spider Man. So
He's hanging out.
that,
He's blocking.
that is the epitome
He's
of
blocking my canned water.
yeah. That not sponsored. Uh,
Oh, that's a good deal.
yeah.
You might want to think about that, huh?
I don't know if they would or not. No, I'm a Budweiser guy, so
Hey, well,
maybe Budberry.
hey,
And
I'll drink whatever they want.
almost, yeah. It's like, what's your favorite kind of beer? Cold. I will take warm, also,
Yeah,
depending on
well,
what's going on.
yeah.
So, how's it been going, man? You off the boat?
I'm off. I'm off the boat. Got off 2 days ago. It's so weird. I was talking to a friend of mine that works in the industry as well the other day, and he was like, "Hey, what day is it?" I was like, "I don't know." I said, "What day is it? Is it Monday, Tuesday?" And I was like,
It's
"I
day
don't know."
4.
But it's crazy because I got off, which was President's Day, and I was so thrown off because Ryder was out of school,
Yeah.
and so like, all right, it's Sunday. I was
No.
Googling on my iPad, how early can you buy beer in Texas on a Sunday? Like, is it 10 o'clock? Is it like, I know if you're at a restaurant, I think you
It's
can get it.
noon.
Yeah,
If you get it before,
exactly.
if it's a grocery store, it's noon, and that's the blue laws, but they're trying to
Yeah,
repeal that.
I saw that. My dad, yeah, me and my dad had this big spiel about it. Yeah, I obviously I think it was like, come on, man, like let's be able to buy beer.
Yeah,
Because the working man like me, they get off on a Sunday. Hey, that's
yeah.
it's Friday for me.
If you're busy working late on a Saturday or something and you don't prepare,
Yeah, you're screwed
yeah,
unless you
you
get
are.
good neighbors.
Yeah, then
But but I was so
yeah.
thrown off on these days on on Monday. I thought it was Sunday, and I was trying to figure out when I could go buy a 6 pack of beer for the rest of the day because I wanted to cook gumbo. But when I'm cooking gumbo, I want to drink like like that. Like I
Yeah,
want to drink like kind of like
a
a Cajun
Louisiana beer.
beer. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. When I'm eating sushi, I drink Sapporo
Sapporo.
Gold,
Yeah.
or stuff like that. But yeah, so I want to immerse myself in this culture of what I'm cooking. And
What kind of gumbo did you cook?
I did chicken and sausage.
That's good. That's the go-to. That's
I know it. Well, I screwed up because the friend of
you
mine who I
burnt your
ended up
roux.
no, I didn't burn it, but like a friend of mine that I was talking to that works in the industry, um, we were both didn't know what day it was.
So
He has a bunch of duck sausage, and I wanted to use duck
oh,
sausage in the gumbo, but I didn't get to do that. But it was still
that's a
really good.
bold move.
Oh no,
Ducks one of those things you got to get that right.
yeah,
And I don't know. So you said the industry. So let's explain
oh yeah.
exactly what you do for a living.
So yeah, so harbor tugs. So everyone I say tugboats, and everyone thinks like, oh, you're
Toot
pushing
toot.
bar. Yeah, exactly. You're pushing barges around. What are you doing? It's like it's kind of like valet parking for ships.
Yeah.
So ships
It would,
obviously can't turn left and right when they get to the dock. So we bump alongside of it
mhm.
and escort
And when
them.
we're talking ships, we're talking
Anything from 200
massive.
foot to 1200. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I mean, the Port of Houston's crazy. It's they do everything. From any kind of industry that you could imagine in shipping, they take care of it.
Yeah. Because once
Yeah.
if you there's a website you can go to, and oh god, what is it? And basically, it gives you a satellite of all the ships.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was trying to explain this to one person whenever oil prices were really low
Mhm.
about all the tanker ships sitting out at the port of
Just waiting.
Houston waiting because it was
Yeah.
cheaper to pay a boat to just sit out there instead of trying to bring it in and store it because
Amazing.
and they were like, no. And I was like, look, let me show you this. And I refreshed like every week I'd send them a
Yeah.
picture and be like, more ships, more ships. So when you get to the opening of the port, like from the Gulf of Mexico,
Yeah.
that's where y'all come in.
Yeah. So the way it works is the pilot gets on the ship offshore, and they
Because
get
to
on it.
enter into like
Yeah. So you
United States waters,
exactly.
the captain has to be a American citizen.
Yeah, so you have to have if you're a foreign flag vessel, you have to have a local pilot to bring you into the port. If you're an American ship, it's kind of up to you. I think I'm not like super versed on like the
Mhm.
logistics of all of that, but yeah. So the pilot gets on the ship offshore, brings it in, and once they get like say a mile, 2 miles from the dock, basically when the maneuvering starts to get critical,
Mhm.
they bring in tugboats, one, two, three, four, however many that they need for the size of the ship. And we meet the ship, put our ropes onto the ship, and help maneuver that ship to get to the dock. They might have to do a 90-degree turn, 180-degree turn. They might have to do a few of those to get to where they're going.
So you're coordinating with other like boats in order to pull this ship, and
Exactly.
it's kind of like hurting our children, I guess, in a
Very
way.
much so.
Like if you'd put one of those little backpacks with the
And
monkey tails.
our wife would be the pilot because she is on the ship telling us what to do, and we are secretly just obeying orders. Yeah, so
I,
it's exactly the same dynamic.
I think that's a euphemism we can probably all
Yeah,
stand behind.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
So you don't clock in at a regular. You're not like, oh, I'll show up at the boat at 8 and I'm
oh
off at
yeah,
5, huh?
and there's a few people I work with that I think they have that mentality, but luckily we only crew change once every 4 days.
Hmm.
So I go in and I'm on the boat for 4 days, so I can't get off late. I can't get stuck in traffic. I can't,
Hmm.
none of that stuff. I don't ever have to deal with except for basically every 8 days I go to work. So yeah, I go. Right now I'm in Freeport, so I get to the boat at 6 o'clock in the morning in Freeport,
Hmm.
which is a little bit different for me now because I've never worked down there except until this last Christmas is when I started down there, and so it's kind of a new little area for me to work at. But yeah, it's it's great because I don't have to work in that kind of rat race like a lot of people get caught in.
Yeah,
which is nice for me because I cannot stand being stuck in traffic.
you're there. But you're not working all the time. You get
No, yeah,
there's a lot of downtime, is there?
yeah.
Or
So I've got a friend that actually he works in the refinery in the port that I'm working at right now, and he's been telling me about things going and coming, like because he works at the docks, and so he's telling me like what jobs are coming up and that kind of thing.
so
Um,
y'all kind of, is it planned out that y'all know like, oh, this boat's coming in at this time, so we're going to be
yes,
busy from this point to this point and that point to that point. It's not like, oh, get up and go, you got a boat coming in.
yeah, for sure. Well, the docks do
There,
know,
there's a lot of
because
coordination.
the docks know like how long it takes to load this ship and then bring the next one
Hmm.
in, kind of thing. So this guy is working on the dock, telling me what's coming and what's going. But he'll text me at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Hey, you're about to have a job. Well, I'm not about to have a job. The mate that I'm working with is about to have the job because the mate works from noon till 7 o'clock in the evening.
Mm.
I go back on from 7 o'clock in the evening until midnight, and then he works from midnight to 5. And then I work from 5 till
Sleep
noon.
during the day.
Exactly.
How big is your boat?
The one I'm on right now is 80 foot by 30 foot,
Okay.
give or take a few inches. But yeah, so the one I've worked on the most was about 100 foot by 30 foot, same little bit, same dimensions. And so now I'm at pictures, but it's kind of scaled down to fit into tighter spots because the big boat that I was on was too big to fit into like some of the smaller ships, like in the Port of Houston.
Okay.
And so they designed these smaller tugs to actually get in there and maneuver around. They had a couple of things they based building these boats off of, but yeah, so that was like the main things. They wanted the same type of boat, but just smaller and compact.
These boats are pretty amazing. Now, does yours boat have like the 360-degree where you're
Yeah,
not using a wheel, you're using a
exactly. Yeah,
joystick, huh?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
these
yeah,
things are
I don't have rudders or anything like that. Yeah, so
like
I'm
your boat. We were down in Galveston one time, and in the you, you know where the Strand's at, huh?
yeah, for sure.
And one day this barge, I guess not a barge, like a tugboat comes in, and this thing is like doing 360s
Yeah,
in the water and like
yeah.
stopping and then going left and going or starboard and going port
There you
and
go.
just
Yeah.
like
Yep. Dancing.
dancing. And I'm like, boys, look at this. So uh and I grew up, in Cutoff, Louisiana,
Yeah.
where the boat industry, some of the largest boat fabrication facilities in the world are there. You have
Yep.
like Schwest Offshore, you
Yeah.
have Bollinger's, you have Superior Shipyard, one that my family grew up with. Uh, but I mean, it was seeing these boats get built and the technology that has driven them forward
Yeah.
is amazing. Now it's
It's
not as
wild.
there's a book out called Rise of the Cajun Mariner, and it talks all about you would probably love this.
Yeah.
Uh, but it talks all about the building of the boat industry in my area, and it talks about how they used to do the boats and build them out of wood and then seal them with like God, I forgot what it was, but it talks about the progression, how the boats at first they were like, oh,
Sealing with salt and
yeah,
blood and sweat. Yeah.
yeah, where it'd be like, there's a
Yeah.
50-foot boat and then a 60-foot and then a 70, and now this 120-foot boat all made out of
God.
steel. And
Yeah.
then it even talks about before how the captains used to have to just know the river and the
Yeah.
bayous and the marshes real
It's
well.
still like that somewheres.
And then they came out with radar,
Yeah.
and they put radar in the boat, and it was like, oh my God, this was a game changer. Because everything is foggy, you see it sometimes. So
Yeah.
sometimes you got to rely on your instruments. Sometimes you just got to know what's going
Oh, for
on.
sure. Or you got to rely on the local guys.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a shipyard in Orange that we go to a lot of the time, and I've never been there. And so I'm going up the channel, and I end up talking to a couple of boats that I'm passing or that are we're meeting and stuff. I said, hey, look, I'm going up over here. Uh, you got any tips? And they all told me, hey, the water's not where it should be. So okay,
Hmm.
and to someone that doesn't work in the industry, that might not that doesn't register with them.
Where
What do you
is
mean
the
the water
water
ain't where it
spot?
should be? Like there's nothing but water here.
It's
And
not in
yeah,
the
and
river.
so yeah, so like in the river, like you have the bends, and
Yeah.
so like if you have one side of the river, one of the river turns, it always land gets bigger, and the other side
Right.
of it erodes, and so
Right.
yeah, that deep end is usually where you have the deep water.
Hmm.
Well, in this little part of the channel, it was opposite.
Yeah.
which a dyslexic person like me, it works out great because hey, it works out good. Hey, cool. I'll just take it. I'll take the shortcuts
There you
and
go.
get up in there. But yeah, so um, just back to what you were saying, that like local knowledge, like that still to this day comes back to being like almost number one, because I could have radar and I could have everything in the world, but
But
if
if
I
you
don't
don't,
have that local knowledge telling
right.
me where the deep spots are,
Hmm.
I'm
Like
aground.
the teacher in boat school will tell you, like, when you go around the bend, this is how it should be. But the local guy's gonna be like,
Absolutely.
nope,
Yeah.
that's not how it goes.
Yeah. They got Boudreaux and Bubba.
Mhm.
Oh no now. So shoot.
Yeah, but I'll get that book. I'll get you a copy for you to read. It's
Yeah.
really interesting. They even talked about it when the bankers started getting involved,
Oh
and
man.
the boat industry slowed down, and they were trying to repossess boats, and they were in the meeting with the bank, and the bank told them, I'm sorry, we're going to have to take the boat from you, repossess it. So just please leave us the keys. And one of the guys says, that's how you don't even know the boat is.
God. Gee whiz. There's so many jokes in that thing.
I know. I know. So, so on your, so you're off right now, enjoying
Mhm.
it, having fun, spending
Absolutely.
time with the family.
Yeah.
How's, what y'all got planned right now?
Man. So Crystal, my wife, just got back into town on Sunday. And I got off on Monday. So they've spent the last 3.5 weeks in California. Because our
Mhm.
youngest Sawyer, he did the intensive therapy program through the Napa
Yeah.
Center in LA, which was amazing, absolutely outstanding. I just did not think that he was going to have the transformation that he ended up having in
Now,
3 weeks.
now you have 3 kids. You
Yes,
have Ryder,
Ryder's the 7-year-old.
right? And you got Fletcher or
Fletcher's the
Fletchy.
wild 2-year-old that'll be 3 soon.
God, yeah. Fletcher
Mean.
likes to party.
He likes to party. He's mean.
Yeah.
And
And then
then
you have
Sawyer,
Sawyer.
the sweetheart. Yeah.
Yeah, the sweetheart. But Sawyer, uh, tell us,
Yeah.
tell us, man, because
Golly, yeah. Sawyer's
we have
story
been following,
starts.
we have been following this young man's journey for quite some time now.
Yeah, that's actually the first time you and I really actually hung out
Yeah,
was the beginning of his journey.
yeah. This was one of those. Oh no, we're
Yeah,
hanging out with Crystal and
yeah,
Jared. Who's Jared? That's Crystal's husband.
yeah,
You'll like him. God, I hate those blind
yeah,
dates.
yeah, yeah. So
See, it worked out.
Sawyer's journey started in 2017 after Hurricane Harvey, when we got flooded, and then you came to our house to rip out all
Hmm.
the sheetrock.
Yeah,
And start demolishing the inside of our house because we figured, hey, let's stay ahead of this thing.
yeah.
Um,
I remember Kelly was like, "Hey, would you want to go help them tear out their house?" And because
yeah,
this was after Harvey, and
yeah.
like, well, do they have generators? Do they have tools? I don't think they have anything or so. And I was like, "Yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
Let's go. We'll
It had
go."
like a half a box cutter and maybe a Phillips screwdriver. That's about the end of my tool set.
We used them both.
Yeah, we sure did. Yeah, we got them
So
all
yeah.
out.
So
Um, yeah,
so
but
your house is flooded by
oh
Harvey.
god, yeah.
You got to rip it out.
So just enough. I mean, we didn't have water all the way up to the ceiling like you
No.
saw, but enough to make everything a pain in the butt. I mean, when we were ripping out sheetrock and we got to the cabinets, okay,
Hmm.
what do we do with the cabinets? We got to take the granite off. How do we get the granite off one piece? Like, I mean, just
Yeah.
you know,
Rip it all out.
exactly, just a nightmare. So we're
Mhm.
ripping everything out. Crystal's not feeling good. She's been, tired for like the last 2 weeks.
And how far along was she at that point?
Man, pretty far along. I mean,
Hmm.
at least, she probably missed like one, cycle kind of deal. So she goes to Target while we're ripping sheetrock out
Oh God,
and
yeah,
takes a
I
pregnancy
remember this
test.
now.
Yeah. And instead of waiting until she gets home, she texts me.
Yeah.
Guess what? We're pregnant.
That's what the third one is. It's like,
Yeah.
oh hey, by the way, I'm going to
Yeah.
Target and we're pregnant.
Yeah. So Jared goes silent. We've been ripping sheetrock out, singing Leonard Skinner for the last 2 hours, just as quiet as a mouse. And she gets home. Do we tell anybody? It's our third kid. Like
Yeah.
there's no secret, to this. Like we're not having like a reveal on
Mhm.
Facebook. We're ripping sheetrock out in our house. We
Yeah.
don't know where we're gonna live for the next 6 months.
Hmm.
So we tell everybody, hey, we're pregnant.
Yeah. I remember that now. That's
And what do you do when you're pregnant and you're ripping sheetrock out of your house? You take a picture in front of your house with
yeah.
the demo
Oh
pile in the
God,
background.
yeah. That's
That's how Sawyer uh, came into our lives. Fast forward, we get to Christmas, and we're living with my parents downstairs at their house. They're gracious enough to welcome us in with all our two other
Mm-hmm.
boys. And on New Year's Eve, we're getting ready for a party in the area, and Crystal's water breaks, and she is 24 weeks pregnant at the time, so way too early to have the
No
kid.
doubt. Yeah.
And so we freak out. Been down this road before. We've had a miscarriage at 18 weeks before. So we know, the craziness that comes with
Yeah.
this. And, we're just thinking nothing but the worst. So I'm upstairs cooking and just tell my parents, hey, look, got to go. And they say, hey, go get it. We got the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all do what y'all have to do. And so we get in the car and we load up and we go, what hospital are we going to? We're going down the street. Are we going to Houston? Are we going to Galveston? And we're texting friends that are nurses.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up going to UTMB in Galveston because we
Mm-hmm.
were with UTMB at the time. So our doctor is in the network and, right there. And they have a NICU. And so Galveston. And like that 30-minute drive took an hour. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
No one's in a hurry. We're going crazy. Crystal gets admitted and ends up checking in, and she's fine. She takes a couple steroid shots to keep the baby inside of her. She's lost a lot. You know, stopped the from her you know stomach, or I don't know, whatever you
Yeah.
call it. So yeah, so we kind of get the game plan. Hey, we're going to be in the hospital months until. What
Yeah.
are we gonna? Let's plan this first week out and get to the next
Next
week and
week.
go.
Where do the kids go? How do
Exactly.
they?
I take a couple of days off from work to get everything situated. She's in the hospital for days. At home, if I don't work, I don't
Mm-hmm.
harbor tug thing. Go back in and for 12 hours, and she goes, "Hey, I think I." So what do you mean? She goes, "Yeah, I'm having to be downstairs and just kind of monitor me." I said, "All right, well, I'm getting off the boat." So I text the people I need to text and call. My port captain says, "Hey, just go.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about waiting for somebody to come relieve you. Just get off that boat, go take all class and Uber to get to my car because I'm at a dock. I'm not, where my car
Yeah.
is." And so I get to my car, get into traffic on 146, and Crystal calls me and says, "Hey," and it's like, "Oh
Oh man.
my God." She goes, "He cried." I said, "Wow, really?"
That's great.
And she goes, "Yeah, he cried." And for us, and like and stuff like that, what we're looking for as far as developments
Mm-hmm.
and lungs were a huge thing. Like he can't survive
So
if his lungs aren't developed.
so he was 25. He was at 25
He was,
weeks.
yeah, right at 25 weeks.
And if you don't know, usually babies are delivered around 40.
Yeah, yeah. So little
Yeah.
early.
So
So he cried. That meant that his lungs were developed, and the steroid
yeah.
shots that she got day one worked. And she said, they took him downstairs to the NICU, or we didn't even know what NICU meant
Mm-hmm.
at the time. And parents are here. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm a true sailor now because I missed the birth of one of my kids.
Yay.
You know, toot toot.
Mazel tov.
Yeah. So get to the hospital, see her. She's looking good. They gave her some pain meds after the delivery. She
She's
gave
feeling
birth
good.
with nothing. I
Oh
mean, just
man.
I think there should be a trophy for women that give birth with no pain meds.
Yeah.
But so she did that. We go downstairs and see the baby, and he's awesome. He's but he's little, and this is when his journey really began for him because
Mm-hmm.
his eyes weren't even open; they were still fused shut.
Oh.
That's how like little he was. Um, yeah, so his journey started
So
there.
so like how little was he?
1 pound 14 ounces, so under 2 pounds. Maybe about the
Whoa.
size. Like if you had like a hand about my size, his head
He's got
maybe
very
could sit
delicate
out
hands.
past your fingers, and his toes would be like where my palm is.
Yeah.
So little bitty guy. You know, there you go.
Well,
Yeah, about your normal size hand. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I could say 6 inches, but 6 inches to you and me, that's that could be a foot away. I've been arguing over that my whole
uh,
life.
No.
uh, but anyway, yeah. So
Potato, apple.
exactly.
So yeah, so this young man's, less
God,
than 2 pounds,
yeah.
24 weeks,
Hmm.
and the fight's on,
Oh,
really.
big time. Yeah. And I'm just like clueless. Like I don't. I'm trying to take care of my wife, because we've been down this road before, but
Hmm.
not to this level of severity.
Right.
And I'm just like, God, what do I do? Do I? How do I be here for her? How do I emotionally attach to this my son? You know,
Hmm.
because she loved him because she sacrificed her body for the last,
Right.
25 weeks for this kid. She sacrificed her last week by laying in bed in the hospital and committing to the next couple months
Yeah.
of just,
Like,
I will be on my back for 3 more months
yeah.
in this hospital bed,
She's
eating,
she's
eating
ready to
ice
go.
chips. Yeah. Yeah. She's like, I will do this. Like, I love this baby. And I am nowhere near that.
I think for dads, it's different because while
Totally.
we're like, oh yeah, hey, we're expecting our child, and we have no clue.
Yeah. Yeah. Clueless.
I
And
mean,
yeah,
and
especially
and by
me.
and by the time the third one comes around, it's kind of like, okay, we've been
Yeah.
through this again.
Yep.
Yep. I
Yeah.
here we are.
I'll love you once you start,
Yeah.
what, and in your pants.
Yeah. Yeah. When
But
you're here, it's on.
yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, when you can give me some crap back, yeah,
Because
we'll
until
start
then,
having fun.
nothing really changes for us.
Exactly. Yeah, not at
Yeah,
all.
it's what we got to pick up the kid every once in a while,
Yeah,
though. I mean, it's different.
I'm used to sleeping like crap.
Yeah. Yeah. You sleep on a tugboat sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you? Is it like a little bunk bed you have, or you have a private
Yeah.
room, or you
So
share a
yeah,
room?
as a mate or a deckhand and stuff like that, yeah, you do have bunk beds, and so you do bunk up.
You got roommates.
Yeah, every summer. But yeah, so right now I'm fortunate enough to run as captain, so I have my own room, and no one can
No,
come in there
oh,
with
that's
me.
cool. Yeah. So this was so
January.
yeah. So we're a year ago,
Yeah.
a little over a year ago, and so for 2018, and I know my wife and your wife are good friends, and
Yeah.
you and I have hung out, and we've kept abreast on this, and I think the last year for y'all. I mean, how would you describe like this past year?
God, a whirlwind, really. So priority number one is our son's in the hospital. How do we get him home? How does he survive?
Hmm.
We've got 101 questions. And if you've ever been in the hospital situation and asked questions to doctors or anyone like that, they
Yeah,
never know.
yeah,
And they will never tell you an answer. They won't
no,
tell you, even if they like, give me a percentage.
no.
Nah, I can't. They just won't.
Well,
Yeah, they'll just talk all the way
yeah.
around it. So yeah, so priority number one was how are we going to get this kid home? And how are we going to get him to live? And then we're still homeless. We're still living
Yeah.
with my parents. So now the homeless situation comes back to, bite us because what do we do if we bring this kid home? If he comes home in
Yeah.
2 months, are we going to bring him downstairs to my parents' house? It's a great situation for us to live there, but in reality, it's a man cave where we're staying. It's
Hmm.
tile floors and it's kind of cold at night, and it's no environment for
Yeah.
having an infant. And so, are we going to pay bills, medical bills? Like, what is that going to look
Yeah.
like with this kid? And everything is just kind of crazy. So we start talking about it and figuring things out. And okay, are we going to rebuild our house? And what does rebuilding our house look like? And is our insurance going to give us enough money to repair the house? And come to find out, the city says that we have to tear down the house because it's been flooded in the past, and they won't let us
Just
rebuild.
rebuild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we got to tear down the house. All right, so now we're going to have to refinance with SBA and do this kind of thing. And what does that look like? And it's just things started going crazy. We had an amazing community of friends and family around us that took care of all of the things that they could take care of as far
Hmm.
as like meals, because I have to go back to the boat
Yeah.
and go back to work. And so my wife has to go to the hospital every day to be with our son
Right.
because he's by himself, two other kids at home.
You got to
One,
still continue their life.
yeah,
You have to keep doing your life. she has to take care of the kids.
Yeah, her head is spinning, and
Your
so
head's spinning too, though,
oh, for sure, yeah,
dude.
yeah. I'm just forced to be in isolation for half the time,
Yeah,
and you know, our friends said, you know what, we're gonna cook for you, and we're gonna do your laundry, and one of the lady that owns Strawberry Fields, which was the daycare that Fletcher was going to, said, "I'm going to make sure that your kid doesn't pay, or you guys don't pay for your kid to go to daycare.
that
It-
place is
It's
awesome.
free of charge until your kid gets home from the hospital."
There,
And yeah, so it's like
Strawberry Fields is amazing.
so
Pip
much.
went there. Gus is there.
God, it's
God, those people are,
epic.
yeah,
It's so awesome.
are good people.
Absolutely. And so yeah, I mean, all this community of friends came around us and said, "Look, like we're going to take on the burdens that we can for you."
Hmm.
And they did, and it was amazing. And we had so much medical stuff to worry about with Sawyer and pray about, and the community praying was his saving grace because he had a liver bleed, he had a GI tear where his bowel, was going
Hmm.
into his body, and he got septic, and then he had a fungal infection multiple times.
Yeah, I remember.
And it's like one of those things is a very low survival rate. And he had all of them at the same time. We had multiple conversations with doctors where the doctor said, "Look, he's not going to come home, and this is probably going to be the last time that you're going to be up here hanging out with him." And then we had other conversations with the doctor, and the doctor said, "Look, we can push medicine and make this kid survive as long as you want, but how far is too far?"
Yeah,
And so that's a terrible conversation to have. Like, are we doing the right thing? Are we doing the wrong thing? Like, are we, you know, do we want to have a vegetable as a child, or like what, we want to like, we
yeah.
want to have this child.
You want your kid healthy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I just want my kid healthy. And then by
Exactly.
what means are you going to do that?
God. And then we had people telling us like what hospital to go to. Like, oh, you're ultimately we ended up going to Texas Children's in
Hmm.
Houston because of IV access.
Hmm.
Because basically he had to have nutrition through an IV because he wasn't eating, and his colon was torn, and he had ostomy and some other
Yeah.
things. And so we had it was an emergency transfer to Texas Children's, and that's why we ended up in Houston. But we were a total hospital stay of 7 months.
It, if you're listening to that, I want you to think about this. Picture 7 months, just every day,
Yeah,
every day, every day having to go,
yeah.
needing to
And if
go.
you don't go a day, think about the guilt and frustration you feel with yourself, especially for my wife as the mom. And
Yeah.
she takes on like the stay-at-home mom as a job.
Yeah.
And you know the
That-
feeling that you would have of like, oh, I just failed at my job because I didn't go see
yeah.
my kid today, but I
Oh,
have two other kids.
I have to take care of my other kid, so I couldn't go
Yeah,
see my other kid, the one who's in the hospital,
yeah,
or even oh, my oldest kid who has this that I need to go. I can't go
yeah.
to that.
Birthdays.
Yeah.
Do I give my kid a birthday party? Man, that costs that. There's planning and everything that goes
Yeah.
into that, and you're
They-
still doing it as mom half the time because your husband's at work
yeah.
on a boat. So you're doing it solo.
Dude, this
It was wild. It was wild
yeah,
7 months.
it was. God, I know that. Uh, I would always come in and ask, like, what's the latest update? What's
Yeah,
the word? What's going?
for sure.
We laid down, man. We always said a prayer for Sawyer. Uh, and just the amazing things that would you hear about him.
Yeah,
And I told Kelly at one point, I was like, this little dude is gonna he's gonna have a story to tell and change lives. He's gonna do
wild.
something amazing.
Yeah,
I think he's really cool. And I know that they did fundraisers. I know that they did
yep. Blood drives.
blood drives. So, anything I have never given. And
Fitness
my
center.
wife, yeah, and my wife told me about it.
Yeah.
I went and I did it, and I was like, "Oh God!"
You're lucky
I'm
you
not.
got in because they had to turn people away because there's so many people going.
I got there first thing. I was like the third one in there,
God.
and but I had never done that before, so I was
Yeah.
like, you know what, that I'm gonna go.
This cause I can get behind.
Yeah, like it's kind of like one of those things. Like, hey, they're ripping out sheetrock, and do they have tools? No, it's like, all right, I'm going. So another one of the times,
Yeah.
it's like, I'm going.
I'm going.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm already signed up for Monday.
Yeah.
So
And I will be on the
yeah,
boat.
well, I'll Snapchat you from
There you go. Yeah.
from it. But it's
Make sure you film when the needle goes in.
all right. I'll send that to
So
you.
I'll feel the pain with you.
It's not bad now.
Oh, not at all.
Like, it's surprisingly, I've given blood a couple more times, and I'm like, this ain't bad.
Heck yeah.
I'm good. I have fun with it.
Yeah.
I always like teasing the nurses and everything. So, but yeah, I mean, it's this young man has brought around a lot of the community,
Oh God, yeah.
and recently at church the other day, the priest pastor was talking about when you're going through these challenges,
Yeah.
it's God preparing you for something else.
Yeah.
And the way that he described it was really cool. He's like, picture climbing a mountain by walking around it,
Mhm.
that you're going to face something and you still have to walk this long way around the mountain.
Yeah.
But as you get closer to the top, you may face that same thing again, but the walk's not as far, and the walk's not as far. And when you finally get to the top and you face that same thing, it's there. You know how to handle it. You can do it. And that's just my very, Kelly and I were like, good Lord, we're like,
Wow.
God, just, think about everything that's going on. And, we haven't faced the challenges that y'all have faced. Everybody's going through their own thing.
Yeah.
I know y'all were always really cool about it. Got to go see Sawyer one day up at the hospital and hang
Yeah.
out with him and see him. And but now they just got back from California, and this was really
Yeah.
cool. You were explaining it to me last night at Top Golf.
Oh man.
That So what is this program that Sawyer just got?
Snake oils and voodoo
Oh,
is what I thought it was going into it. I'm serious.
Just take him to see Buster. He knows
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah. I was like, you're going to California. This kid's going to come back and he's 3 letters CBD.
They say it's good for anti-inflammation.
Yeah, absolutely.
But have you tried
Yeah.
DMT?
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, so Crystal finds out about this program, and it's an intensive kind of therapy, physical therapy, like rehab deal.
Now, is it specific for
Multiple things.
Okay.
What we saw, there's a lot of like children with cerebral palsy, different stages, which is one of the things we're trying to limit his exposure towards having cerebral palsy. Our therapists say if with him stretching and stuff like that, that can really help him out if he's going to have it. Like he won't be as severe. We really don't know what he's going to look like as far as long term yet. The way I always tell people is we're looking for red flags, and he hasn't thrown up any red flags yet.
Right.
So that's a good thing. We still have about another year to go to that he can throw up more red flags. So we're not out of the woods yet, and we don't know what he's going to look like long term, but it's looking good so far. But anyway, finds out about this therapy program out in California called the Napa Center, and it's a intensive therapy where they do like rehab and kind of looking things. So she talks to me about it. Hey, I'd really love to get Sawyer into this. They have a pop up in Houston, and then they have a pop up in Austin. We could probably get in September to this program. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
let's do
go
it.
for it.
Yeah, let's do it. Research it up. Like, how much does it cost? She's like, X amount of thousands of dollars. I'm like, oh my God. Well, does the insurance cover it? She goes, I think they cover a little bit. Okay, well, whatever. Yeah, let's get the ball rolling. Exactly.
Like, okay, it's my kid.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, I'll spend $1,000 on all
just
kinds
money.
of dumb stuff,
Yeah.
I bought a jet ski. But anyway, so
I bought podcasting equipment.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So
Sorry,
she's
kids.
talking about this like on a Monday. Tuesday, she makes a couple emails. Tuesday afternoon, she gets an email back saying, hey, look, crazy thing just happened. We had someone drop out. We have an opening on Monday. I'm like, Monday in September? She's like, no, next Monday.
3 weeks ago.
I'm like, what the heck? So anyway, I'm like, well, let's do it. Just say yes. The worst case scenario, we can't figure out a way to get you out there and can't find a place to stay, and we just say no and you know
Yeah.
try again. She gets on the horn and gets a hold of everything and sets it all up. And by Wednesday morning, we've got it all figured out. And I haven't even told my parents yet.
Oh man.
I haven't told my
She
mom that she's
ran
going to
with
be
it.
watching my kids for the next 3 weeks. But yeah. So Crystal's like, "Hey, I figured it out. We're going. My mom's going to drive out to California with me. This is the way this is going to happen. We're going to pay for it like this. We're going to do this, that, and the other. We're going to Airbnb when we get out there." And yeah, so she heads out, and in like 2 days, crazy. Um, Starts doing the program, and we had a kind of a thing with Airbnb where they got to a Airbnb, and it was across the street from like a homeless shelter,
Oh
which is cool if I was there,
yeah.
but my wife with 2 kids and her mom across the street from a homeless shelter in Venice, California, without her
Yeah.
husband.
Venice is
It's
sketchy.
it's sketchy, but it's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
it's so cool. Like, if I was there, I love it because I love the artsiness of it and everything like that. But,
You get to surf.
exactly. Yeah. But so
I know
she
you went out there. Did you?
I
Did you
did,
get to
yeah.
surf?
Heck yeah. Oh, I didn't get to because it was raining and right, I didn't want to get, like, a n bad ear infection
Uh,
because with all the runoff, but the waves were good. It looked really fun.
Toasty.
Man. So this Airbnb, we get there and,
We'll talk surfing in a second.
God, oh yeah, I'm ready. That'd be fun next segment.
Mhm.
But so yeah, she calls the Airbnb lady, says, "Hey, look, I've got 2 kids. I can't even get my kid's car seat into the door because you've got trash cans between the fence and our walkway." She's like, "Look, I'd love to stay here. I can't. I just can't do it with these kids. It's just not what it
Yeah.
was. There's no pictures of the outside of the place, and I'd love to pay for like the first 2 days, and then you refund my money for the rest of the stay." Uh, the lady that had the Airbnb was like, "Nah, ain't happening." So we ended up paying like more than half of what the Airbnb
What?
was. Yeah, they charge us cleaning fees for the Airbnb. We never even went in it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so we got like charged like 200 and something dollars to clean the place when we never, even.
Give me their address.
Oh, yeah, you should see the review that she wrote in the end.
Oh.
Brutal. But anyway, long story short, I mean, they got
Tho-
into a hotel and
that'll get to that person down the road.
exactly, yeah. I'm not
I,
worried
I,
about it. Yeah.
I think you know you help somebody do something
Yeah.
that comes back way later on in life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
fuck with
Yeah.
someone, it's gonna come back to that. It's gonna
Yeah.
come back to you way sooner.
And in the end, what is it? A couple $100?
Yeah.
You can always make more money.
Yeah.
Work, stay late, do something,
Mhm.
that will,
We could put Spider-Man on eBay.
yeah, right. We're not missing it now.
Yeah.
That money it's gone and
Yeah.
whatever, you know. But
So he gets in and
he's
he
in.
starts.
He starts doing this program, and Crystal's, texting me. She's like, "Man, this first couple days was tough. He's crying because they're so intense. It's basically like he's just working out super
Mhm.
hard." And I'm like, oh, okay, kind of, talking to her, and they're having fun on the side. They're going to the beach in the afternoons, and they get their living situation figured out. And I come out on the third week on a
Mhm.
Sunday. So, Monday he starts his, third week of program. Um, Ryder and I fly out there on Sunday. And when I picked this kid up, I knew it was the real deal because previously when I'd pick him up, it'd be like picking up like a 2-year-old kid or something like that. They just kind of collapse on you when
Mhm.
you pick them up.
Yeah.
I picked him up and his back was straight, his head was up. He was looking at me. He was looking at his brother.
Oh
He was
man.
looking all around. He was very engaged. What
It's like he
in the
grew up.
exactly? I was like, what in the world just happened in 2 weeks? Like, this is not voodoo and snake oil, or if it is, it works.
Yeah.
So, I am totally sold. Next day, we get to go and see the program. They're doing speech therapy, which is like teaching him how to eat and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And if you even like touch his lips, he would gag. And
Oh
before
man.
this, now he's eating bites of food. He's having the spoon roll around in his mouth, playing with it, talking, cooing. It was just amazing to see. And we got to see 3 days of therapy while we were out there until we had to come back home because I had to go back
Yeah.
to work, but I had her and Fletcher back with me to back to Texas, and they finished out the week out there, and her
All
parents
right.
ended up driving back.
Oh, cool. And now he's back home and
Now he's
doing
back
well.
home and just going crazy. He's had even more development being home because Crystal
They
learned all the moves
they
of
gave her
their.
the tools
Oh
to.
yeah, so now she's got she knows how to twirl them around and get them strong and stuff like that. And so she's like a little physical therapist herself.
Nice.
But yeah, he's doing amazing, and so it's really cool to see. And his brothers are his biggest kind of helper because they just treat him like another little brother.
Man, that's so cool.
It's awesome.
I know Kelly would tell me, like, once again, Kelly would be like, man, this just happened. And I think one of the most recent ones when he pulled out his feeding tube, didn't he?
Oh God, yeah. Well, he pulled out his central line a few
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that sent us to the hospital a few times. The last time he pulled out his central line was New Year's Eve, but a year before
Mm-hmm.
Crystal's water broke, or a year after Crystal's water broke. So we figured out, oh, are we gonna spend every New Year's in the hospital? But so yeah, but this was the second time he pulled it out, and Crystal goes to the hospital. They send her home. I get off work the next day. We go back to the hospital because they want to put it back in. Well, with his central line and getting the IV nutrition, he's still on feeds through his G
Mm-hmm.
tube. He's on full feeds in his G tube. The IV is kind of just like their security blanket for doctors,
Yeah.
but he can get it infected. It goes straight to his heart. It's a big risk of infection, and
Yeah.
that could kill him. So we're telling the doctors, look, we're not putting this thing back in. What do we have to do to get you guys to keep him on just
Yeah.
feeds and get this thing out? And they're like, well, we're gonna try him on some formula, and you're gonna spend a couple nights in the hospital because we don't know if he'll tolerate it and this and that. I said, hey, look, sign us up.
So
Yeah,
let's
we're,
go
we're
for it.
in. Yeah, we'll spend however many nights we need to have up here. Yeah, we got good insurance. So,
Yeah.
I've slept on this couch before.
Is
Uh,
that, can I get the fold out one? It's in room
yeah,
403.
get a do not disturb sign to
Yeah.
put on the back of the door.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got in for the long haul. They put him on formula. We spent one night in there, and they said, "Look, he's doing great. Go home."
Man, every time something would come up with Sawyer and Kelly would tell me, part of me would always be, I'd first, say a little prayer. But
Yeah.
afterwards, I'd kind of be like, that kid's gonna be okay.
He's got it.
He's got it. He's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
It is so cool.
Yep. It was
So
amazing, and it's like a lot of like our family has said like he knew.
yeah.
He's like, get this thing out of me.
Yeah.
I don't need this thing.
Yeah. Take me to California.
Yeah, yeah. I want to go see the beaches and
Yeah.
go play in the sand.
Yeah.
Crazy, and
It's a ride.
he's known it because he's done it. So,
Yeah. He's a
yeah,
cool little dude.
for sure. And so now he's back, and we're hanging out and waiting for the weather to get nice and warm, and
He'll
take him
probably
back
end
to
up
the
being like
beach.
a motivational speaker or something and talking about
Yeah.
that. Or he'll probably go and be like a doctor or
Yeah,
something.
a street
or-
fighter.
Yeah, that would be awesome. UFC or
Professional beer drinker. Yeah, he's gonna be a wild one.
switchblade juggler.
Yeah, good lord. Yeah, he's gonna do some cool things.
Yeah. Just got a message that the beer delivery's on its way.
Oh,
Or a little while ago. That was, I guess we could have coming, but
man, I tell you what, you got some good
5
service
minutes
around
ago.
here.
What's that?
You got good service then.
I know. I'll try. Let's just say we had good surf around here, but we do. So
Oh, yeah.
now, one of the things, like when I found out about you and started hanging out with you, is that you're a surfer, dude.
Yeah.
And then I saw the pictures of you, and I'm like, oh God, he was a surfer, dude. Look at this blonde
Yeah,
hair.
right.
Yeah, dude. Puka shell necklace. And green
Heck no, I
flip-flops.
never wore that crap.
You got a puka shell.
I
don't
never had a puka shell necklace. Man, I used to make fun of guys that had that stuff. But yeah, shoot. Side had a bunch of cash and just
I think they crack house.
yeah. Oh, you ever seen Hoarders? It kind of looked
Yeah.
like that. And they had a couple old surfboards in there, and one of them had like a busted nose on the board.
Mhm.
And so instead of them giving me my $200 for cleaning this house out all weekend, I was, hey, give me that surfboard instead.
You're a horrible negotiator.
Yeah, looking back now, it's probably like a $40 surfboard. But they were like, "Yeah, I think we can
$160
make
for
that
sure.
happen." Yeah.
Yeah. So you get a
Man, yeah.
surfboard and you start surfing around
Yeah,
here,
my
and
my mom was, a good enough mom to take me to the beach and, stick it out, and I fell in love with it. I really did, and I just, wanted to go all the time. Middle of the winter, raining, cold, no matter what, I wanted to do it, and being, from Texas, it's no, the waves pretty much suck, especially in Galveston.
yeah, that's the thing that wouldn't make me think of this as a
Yeah,
surfing area,
yeah,
because I grew up in Cutoff near Grand Island,
yeah,
Fouchon, and we boogie boarded,
yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, boogie board. The
Heck yeah.
waves. The only time the waves were bad was when were really, I guess, good was when a hurricane was coming, and that's when you kind of
Yeah.
start going fishing, because that's when the fishing's real good.
Man. Yeah.
So so you start going surfing around here, and
Yeah.
how far did you take it?
Man, so when I first started, I was pretty competitive and I always had like a big ego about myself. And so I thought I was a whole lot better than what I was. And so I had friends that were taking Kodak pictures of me and I'd built this little portfolio and some stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna get sponsored. I'm gonna do this. It's got a couple surf videos. Um, and I found out my dad surfed back in the day. And so my
Oh,
main goal when I first started was I want to be better than my dad.
look what's here. Look
Oh, there it
what's
is.
here.
Cold beer.
Oh, thank you, darling. Appreciate this so much.
Set that right in front of the camera. It's like a sponsorship.
Thank you, baby.
Oh man.
Shall we?
Yes, absolutely.
Here you go.
Oh, here you go.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Not sponsored, but we appreciate them.
Yeah.
Sponsor. Have you ever been on their tour?
No,
Oh,
I haven't
it's
done any of
fun.
that stuff.
Salute.
Slancha. Man. But yeah,
As
so I
said,
wanted to
this
be better than my
podcast has
dad.
turned into like
Yeah.
me hanging out and drinking with my buddies and putting it on film and day.
Hey, you can't say that too loud, man. Like
She knows. She
well, now everybody else does.
yeah. At least the 100 people who are subscribed to this know.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, surfing in Galveston, the waves suck. But I don't know what it was about it, but I had this desire to be good and I just loved it. I skateboarded and stuff too. But why I say that it saved or not saved me, but it was a huge part of my life to where I am today is because a lot of my friends um, started, drinking and partying and stuff like that. And I became kind of on a different path. I kind of chose a different path because I wanted to wake up early on Saturday and go surf, and I wanted to do contests, and I wanted to go to Corpus. I wanted to do, I had these goals with surfing that I wanted to keep doing, and I loved it so much. It was such a passion,
you're
but it came from those other things, and which is ironic because when you first think of surfing, you think of stoners and stuff like that.
and drinking.
Yeah, but it got me out of all that stuff, which is weird. But yeah, so and it did, and I went, got
Oh
into high
my
school.
God. Participation in sports kept a kid off of drugs
Yeah,
and drinking and
who would have
involved in
known?
it's like somebody, God, I wish somebody would have told people
Yeah.
this.
Who- But yeah, so man, I loved it, and I went to California when I was in high. And mom took me. My mom, she goes, "Well, if you're gonna go to California, you got to look like a California person." And I was like,
Mhm.
"Well, okay." And I had long blonde hair, and I looked like a
Go,
surfer.
go pull up the Encyclopedia California Surfer.
She puts me in a tanning bed
Oh my
like
God.
3 times a week.
How old are you?
I was a freshman in high school, which was cool, like I didn't care until I went to high school and this girl said, "Hey, have you been going to a tanning bed?" I said, "Why do you say that?" Because I had the rings around my eyes from
man.
those little
You had
things
to
you
look.
stick. Yeah.
Did you hang the goggles from your rear view mirror?
I don't know, in her car, so I would wear them when I go in there. And so my eyelids were, bleach white. And I was dark as could be.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that was a little traumatic, but I got over it, brushed it off, went to California, had fun. And
Wow.
then met some friends out there, and I'd go out there for a couple weeks during the summer and just kind of bounce around couches, during high school.
Eating fish tacos and burritos
Oh man,
and
that's where I fell in love with fish tacos out there. I didn't know what it was.
I didn't eat
That
fish
and
tacos till I moved here.
big burritos, like big
Yeah.
giant burritos, like Freebirds or stuff like that. Like that. Those were loved those things. Basically any kind of crap. But yeah, so you know, just started surfing out in California and being exposed out there kind of broadened my horizon with surfing.
Mm-hmm.
um, and figured out that look, like, a lot more to being good at surfing. Like you could be the best wherever you're from, but if you got a bad attitude, you'll never make it. So
Did you ever have to deal with like the locals versus
yeah,
like where somebody cut your board and you had to like
man,
get into a switchblade flight?
I want to say yes, but no.
No.
I kind of wish because I heard the stories like that. Like
You saw
Texas
Point
license
Break?
plate. Yeah. And, like Texas license plates and stuff like that. You get wax on your windshield. No, I never got all that crap. Oh, well, yeah. No, I never did, man. Really. It was I was always kind of welcomed in. But I think it was because I was just happy to be there,
Yeah.
really.
But
And so
yeah.
yeah.
So now you're getting Ryder into surfing.
God, yeah, now he's
He just
into it.
he just had a little competition, didn't he?
He did, yeah. So he got third place in a division that's older than he is. So he's in like what they call the mini groms, and he
Because
surfed
he's
up into the
6,
older
right?
kids. Yeah, he's 7.
7.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, he's a year older than Pip.
he surfed up into the next. So he surfed a 6 or 7-year-old division. Then he also surfed up into the older kids division and
Mhm.
got third in that division.
Nice.
Granted, there's only 3 kids in there, but he doesn't know that, and I'm not going to tell him that. But the crazy
Hey,
thing was
you you know what my grandpa used to say? I graduated 12th in my class.
yeah,
There were 12 kids, but I graduated, so he
yep,
competed.
yeah,
That's the big thing.
heck
So,
yeah. And the thing is not only did he get third out of third in the older kid division or whatever, that might you take that at face value and it's like, oh, cool. It's just a
mhm,
dad being proud of his kid for getting out there, which I am.
yeah.
But it was 55-degree water temperature. This kid didn't have booties. He has a 4-year-old wetsuit that's got holes in it, for ass off immensely. It's foggy, drizzling rain, 40 degrees outside, and he surfs and wants to go back out.
Awesome.
And at that moment, I knew that this kid had passion for something because you do something when it's sunny and great and everyone's cheering for you. That's one thing.
Yeah.
But when no one's there and no one's clapping and it's cold
Cold and
and
yeah,
miserable and you want to keep
keep
doing
going.
it, you're in love with it. And so
Yeah.
I knew, I was like, well, he feels his toes and he wants to catch another wave.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome, man.
that was his surf contest this year. So now this coming weekend, but I'll be working. And so one of my friends is going to actually take him out there and push him into waves for me while I'm
Well,
working
cool.
and help
So
him out.
so he doesn't like paddle out and wait for
He
the
he
you.
can a little bit, but because he's condensed to 15 minutes for a
Mhm.
heat, and so for to give him the best opportunity to catch waves, like I go out there with push him, I grab the front of his board and run out there and let
Mhm.
him just lay down, swim around and throw him into a wave, and he catches it. Um, but he can go out there and kind of stand on the
Yeah.
side of his board, and he will jump on it, paddle, and he does catch waves. He's just not as good at it.
Yeah. Well, you got to learn sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
I want to learn.
Yeah, let's do it.
So
I'll push you
I've
in.
told you you'll
Oh, yeah.
push me in.
Yeah, we'll go tandem.
All right, that's
Oh
cool.
yeah, I'll get right behind you.
Can we do the thing where like you hold me up in the air and spin
Oh,
me around?
absolutely.
I'd
I'll
love
put
that.
you on one hand like that, maybe
But no.
give you a little extra.
So my buddy Chris Morris, he was on here a
Yeah.
while back. He surfs a lot.
Yeah.
Galveston too. I told him I was like, man, I want to get you and him together, and I want y'all to come take me and teach me how to surf because I think
Do a Buster surf camp.
I think it'd be hilarious. And
Yeah.
as this channel grows, I think it'd be awesome to go video it. Also, get like a couple
Yeah.
of guys and like just go experience and be like,
Absolutely.
a mix between like, oh, we're going surfing today,
Yeah.
so and just see what it's all about.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, cool, man. Well, I think we up at our time, and we've got 10 more beers. So
Well, I know what we can do with these.
I do too. So Jared, man, thanks for coming on. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it. Uh, man, thank you.
Yeah. Hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys for all your prayers, support, everything.
Yeah.
It's been the only thing that kept us going the last few years.
Anything you want to plug?
Man, Strawberry Fields, big time. UTMB Galveston. Absolutely. My wife actually got the device that we needed when we left UTMB, which was an ultrasound guided IV placement.
Mhm.
She wrote I guess actually got that in there. So that's a huge one. Napa Center, which is the rehab program that Sawyer just went to, the fitness center with all the blood drives they've been doing, and they're actually considering opening up their doors to host a satellite program for Napa.
Really? That's
Yep.
awesome.
So those guys, um, all the community locally, uh, my wife's friends, they've been, you know, crazy good to us. Just our church communities around here, multiple different churches. We've been a part of so many. We're not going consistently right now because we can't get very exposed to other kids with him
Mhm.
getting sick. But yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for
Yeah, you
the
have to
love
be.
of God and
Yeah,
our family and friends, we wouldn't be where we're at right now. So I mean, that's huge to us.
that's good to hear, man. But y'all are good people, and y'all deserve that. And
We try.
you know, man, y'all are. So, well, Jared, thanks for coming on. Another good old boy in the book here on the episode, and everyone, thank y'all for listening and tuning in. I appreciate it. Once again, if you can, please go and subscribe to the podcast and rate us. Give me a 5. I'm going to ask for that because, well,
Yeah.
you don't get what you don't ask for. Uh, w- Rate me. We're on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play and Spotify. All the major. If you friends, join us on Facebook. Like us. We have a webpage, goodoldboypodcast.com. Instagram, Good Old Boy Podcast, any which way that you can. Just share us, get this out of a good old boy that should be on the show. Send me a message and let me know if you are a good old boy and want to come on the show and talk about something passionate. We just had AJ Olson on who talked about soil biology. I've had a lot of AJs on here. AJ from AJ's Custom Fab, who is working on a special secret, top secret project for me right now, which is going to be really cool. And I mean, I've just had some really cool people on here that I have enjoyed drinking beer with. And as my wife says, sitting in the back room, drinking beer, talking to a microphone. So, as always, thank y'all for your support. I really appreciate it. And say hello to your mom and them for me.
That easy.
That easy.
Radio Gold. Radio Gold.
Radio Gold.
Radio
What y'all
Gold.
talk about?
Oh, we talked
Cocaine,
about cocaine and yeah.
Shipping it in from the port through tugboats.
Give away the secrets to life.